Hello everyone. So today I would like to share with you a simple tutorial on how to run large language model on your computer. Before we start, please take a note that this tutorial is for Windows users who have a decent Nvidia GPU. For Linux, this would be a slightly different process, and for AMD users this would not work. If you meet these requirements, then let's dive into it. So, step number one will be to install Miniconda. Download the installer and install this. Miniconda would allow us to create a virtual Python environments which are very advisable in this case. Because with LLMs, at least from my experience, is that you need to try many different things, and creating and using those virtual Python environments would save us enough time, because we can easily create those environments and drop when they are not needed and start all over again. Technically, it would be possible to do without those virtual environments and just do direct installations on your computer, but this would be very complicated if you would need to uninstall all libraries and start over again. So I already installed Miniconda, so I will not do the step here. Now the second step will be to add Miniconda directories to your path variables. Again, this is not necessarily. You can run all this in Miniconda PowerShell, but at least in my experience it's easier to run everything in Windows command prompt. To do that, click on start typing system variables, click on edit the system environment variables, double click on path, and add directories where Miniconda is installed. So in my case it's say users and on Miniconda free, and also add the scripts subdirectories. Click OK, and that should work. Now to test if that worked, you open the command prompt and enter command conda -v, and it should give you the version of installed conda. Now let's create a new conda environment. So the command will be conda create -n your environment name. In my case it will be my LLM instance, and then we need to define the Python version for this. So this would be Python 3.11. Enter. Wait a second. It will give you some prompts and to ask to do some things. Approve, and new conda environment is created. Now let's activate our environment. Just copy this code, paste it, and click enter. So you will see here at the beginning your environment name. This would mean that we are now in this isolated conda environment. Before we move forward, you need to make sure that you have Nvidia Cuda installed. So just you can Google Nvidia Cuda, click on download, and you should be able to download the latest Cuda version. However, in my case, the newest version did not work with the PyTorch, so I needed to use 12.1. To find the older version of this, you can click on Archive and then find 12.1, and then you can download Cuda versions for Windows and install it. I already did it, so I will not repeat. Okay, so when the Cuda is installed, then you would need to create a new folder where you will be holding all the files which will be needed for the model. So in my case, it's just C local LLM. Enter that path into the command prompt. So the next step will be clone text generation text-generation-webui. That will be the command. I will also leave the link where you can get all the commands. So when you are in your directory, just copy paste git clone command. Okay, so when we have cloned git repository, then we need to enter the directory. It will be text-generation-webui folder. Now let's start installing required libraries. So first we need to install Torch. In my case, it will be the pip install Torch Vision, Torch Audio, and then I needed to specify the specific Torch version and the Cuda, Nvidia Cuda version, which we are using. Unfortunately, at the moment of recording, the latest Torch version does not support Cuda 12.3, so that's why I'm using 12.1, and I'm specifying the version here. Click enter. So let's wait. Okay, so Torch is now installed. The second step will be to install the needed libraries to run text-generation-webui. Just run the command pip install -r requirements txt. Click enter. If you don't see any errors, then we can launch text-generation-webui. The command is simple: Python server.py, and then you will get link to launch webui. Just copy it into the web browser, and you are in text-generation-webui. Now the most important step is to choose the model. So to find the right model, head to Hugging Face, click on Models, Text Generation, and here is the list of all the available large language models to test. But as you see, the list is very, very long. I think the good starting point is to sort by either trending or most downloaded models. What's important to know about the models is, I think the first is the model size. So the model size is usually represented with B, so it's like 1.1 B, this would mean the model has been trained on 1.1 billion parameters. While, for example, 8B means that it was trained on 8 billion parameters. And why it is important? It's important because it represents the model size and your capabilities of running the model. So, for example, if you have just 8 gigabytes of video memory on your GPU, then the maximum you can run is around like 7B. If you have the bigger GPU, like for example, I have 3090 with 24 gigabytes of RAM, I can run 13B and even 30B models. If you don't know where to start, I suggest you could start with Zephyr-7b-beta model. As well, the second model you could try out, which I also tested myself, is OpenHermes 2.5 based on Mistral 7b model. So these worked quite well in my case. So when you've chosen your model, then what you want to do is to copy model name to the clipboard. You can do it by clicking this little icon, then jump back to text-generation-webui, go to the model tab, and then into the download model section, just paste that name and click download. All 7B models are approximately 13 gigabytes in size, so depending on your network connection, this might take a while. You can monitor download status in the command prompt. This will show you the download status, and in case it will have any errors, this will show the errors to you. Okay, finally, so it seems that model was loaded, it says done, and now we can move to loading the model and testing it. So to load the model, first click this refresh button, and then in the model drop down, choose the downloaded models. Then you can click the button load, and when the model is loaded, it should say successfully loaded. If you see any errors here, you can either debug them, or the easiest way, just try another model, because most likely the one is not compatible with your hardware or software. When the model is loaded, so we can go and test it. So click on chat. So I will ask it to give me Python script which would calculate distance between two coordinates. Okay, so far looks quite good. I already see some problems. Okay, let's test it. I already have prepared some coordinates for test. I already see some simple mistakes. Let's put the coordinates. I know that the actual distance is approximately 95 kilometers, so let's check if that will get us right. And let's test it. So oh yes, it's 94.27 kilometers, so that's about right. So quite impressive stuff. So this locally deployed model did quite a complicated task. So it knew that we need to use harvest time formula to calculate, and it actually did it correctly. So this is like ChatGPT 4 level problem. So that's it. That concludes our tutorial. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and stay tuned. I will be trying new models soon.